Hi again. Um, I just think, especially because I am putting some of this public, that I mean, I've already felt like it's the 11th hour, but I just want to do like a quick Reader's Digest version of my life in the last 8 years or so. I don't know. Just to really break it down and kind of get it out there. Okay, so I'm going to start in 2013. Basically, I broke up with my long-term boyfriend. Great guy. He's a really great guy. He was just young, and I never felt like I was good enough for him, but I was never good enough for anyone. And now I realize that that was me. Um, so I broke up with my boyfriend, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna like do everything and say yes to everyone, and started having multiple boyfriends. For my boyfriends, I started having girlfriends. I became a stripper. I was having a lot of fun. I was trying things I'd never done. I wasn't ever a drinker before this. I never did drugs. I never smoked. Never did anything. But I decided to say yes to life, and I did. And a few months of that, I got behind on my bills. I was hanging out with these bikers, and I just decided, oh, I'm just, I don't need to pay rent. I'm not even hardly home. And so I was going to move, and I did. I packed up all my stuff and moved. And during this time, I came back into contact with my biological family on my father's side, who I didn't grow up with them. I was put in foster care. I'll do a follow-up on that. I came back in touch with them, and graciously they offered me somewhere to stay, and I stayed with my brother at my dad's house. And that's really when I got introduced to them, their lifestyle. Met my boyfriend, now fiance with 2 children, through them. And I would say this is like the pivotal moment when things changed for me in my life. I'm going to come back to this because I feel like if I don't, well, I already started. I'm losing time, so I've got one run at this. So my brother and dad had their own way of making ends meet, which I didn't necessarily resonate with, but I've always been like, work smarter, not harder, and they're not hurting anyone. They're just maybe not working in the lines of society, and I don't want to go any further than that. I just, love them, and I don't want any harm to come to them, but it's part of my story, and I'm going to say it. So I did what they asked of me to help them out and, pay bills while I was there, as well as, actually helping with physical labor, cleaning, contributing. I worked jobs while I was down there. And I was, still kind of drinking a lot and being free to experiencing love and getting out there and experiencing it. Now I had met my now fiance then, and he was also partaking in making money the ways that they can. And he was married at the time. He described her as sleeping until noon, lazy, liked to do pills and drink, but he had gotten her off of methamphetamines and married her because they were friends. And she was cheating on him all the time, and she would threaten to call the police on him, and he would come back with like scratches on his throat where her nails from choking him. And but they had been together for like 7 years at the time, and they had loyalty with each other. And it was we were seeing each other, and eventually she had found out or suspected, and he had been lying to her for a while, and he finally had told her. And then she was messaging me, and she was being unkind and whatever. He couldn't make up his mind. He was playing both sides of the fence I know that now. You know, and I was okay, I guess, part of it, because I was like, you know, you're married, deal with what you got to deal with your wife, and I'm here, I'm living my life, you know, and it was okay. Obviously, the more the relationship progressed, the more I wasn't okay with it, the more I wanted to have like one special person in my life and share my life with that one person. During this time, I met my biological half sister on my father's side for the first time, and she had a rough childhood. She grew up just having a rough childhood, and I felt bad for her immediately. I still feel bad for her. During this time, she had been up, and I think we got to meet her son, maybe, and then there was this baby daddy in this like shack with like literally a cabin with no electricity. I don't know. She lost custody of the son shortly after, and she had come up, and I think was only in town for like a week. I hardly got to see her. During that time, she tried to do something like intimately inappropriate, and I had like a talk with her and told her, you know, like, you know, it's not okay, it's not normal, and maybe, you know, you need to fix that. But tried to brush it off, like, because I knew her life was like so shitty, and obviously she had been led to think these things were okay. So like, I don't know why I didn't want her to feel bad, but I didn't want her to feel bad. And, you know, so anyways, she disappears, and I'm still dealing with the boyfriend situation. One night he comes to me and says, you know, we got to get really drunk. I got to talk to you about something. I could only talk to you about it one time, ever. And I'm never, ever, ever going to acknowledge this conversation. I'm never going to talk to you about it again. You know, I want you to drink and smoke as much as you can and forget it. But I do want your advice on some things. So, we have this conversation. We're already a couple drinks in. We're smoking, and it's a lot of information. It was a lot of information. But basically, his wife planned to stop in front of a semi-truck to get millions of dollars because there was like a claim in the insurance clause. She plotted this and knew about this because she had met, I remember because I learned the phrase strangers on a plane. He had to tell me what it meant because I'd never heard that phrase before. Strangers on a plane. It couldn't be tied to them because there's no way that they know each other. Anyways, they had met each other. Both their boyfriends were having affairs, or husband and boyfriend was having affairs, and they decided to try and set this up. I guess there's like a claim in the insurance clause that made sure the baby mama of the truck driver would be financially compensated after the accident as well. So he asked me some questions. You know, I said, you know, you in the lawsuit, you would be, you know, emotional damage, and make sure you were employed, make sure that there's a show of loss of wages, make sure that, you know, you were in a good place in life so that you can compare it to where you are because of this accident, because that's where it is, you know, if you were in court trying to describe something like this, I guess. I also told him to do it soon because I wanted to have kids and be done with all this. And, you know, at the time I was like, she wants the money and she's not going to leave us alone, and I want the man and I don't care about the money. So yeah, sure. Just hurry up. I like totally, we talked about a lot of stuff. Basically she was going to have to gain a lot of weight in a short period of time. She knew how to fake physical or what symptoms to fake for a traumatic brain injury, which basically exists when you get hit with a tissue box going 10 miles an hour. It's just swelling up the brain. It can or cannot have these symptoms, but she knew which symptoms to fake. Memory loss, loss of sense of smell and taste, and she was going to do this. And I mean, I'm sure I'm not remembering everything right now, but that's pretty much what we talked about. This is just after my sister had that thing that happened to me, and I wanted to talk to him about it. I remember distinctly saying, you know, that I had something that was horrible, and I couldn't even talk about it. I never told him that she had come on to me and tried to kiss me that night. Never told him. And anyway, so I was just in my head, I was like, we're gonna deal with his problems, and then I get him, and he'll be there for me like he is for her, and we'll be together, and he can help me with my stuff. So anyways, like a year passes. At this point, I moved down to another house with another guy because he's not leaving his wife. She's didn't have an accident yet at this point. She knows about me, and we're still going back and forth. He's doing his stuff. I'm doing my stuff. Person I lived with wanted to have a relationship with me, and basically found out about Jacob. Oh, it's not supposed to say his name, but I guess whatever. And found out about him, and started feeling some kind of way about it. I felt bad. I told him I didn't want to waste his time, that he deserved love, the guy I was living with, and that I wanted to just continue to work in his home in lieu of rent and be in the other room, and I did. I cleaned the crap out of that house and did the pool and the pool yard, like tried to organize the inside of the house. It was like it was just very disorganized. I like to organize. Anyways, I tried to cook for him and clean for him, and help assist him with like those kinds of things, because he was a working man, and I was at the house, and I was living in his house, so I tried to do everything for him. We had relations a few times, but like I said, I told him that I didn't want to waste his time. Oh, I'll be in there in a minute, honey. I hear you. Yeah. Oh my, he's on the bed still? Yeah. Okay, good. He just woke up. All right. Thank you. I love you. I'll be in there in a minute, okay? So, oh gosh, where was I? So I'm living with this guy, and this guy's having me do stuff also that made him money. I was giving him money because of what he asked me to do with how he could make money off his land. And so then my biological sister comes back up and is staying with my brother, biological half sister, staying with my brother, and I'm down in another town with another guy, and so basically she finds drugs down there. She's been a drug addict. She's been shooting up since she was 13, and we're trying to get her clean, and she's not really trying, but she's trying to hide it. Anyways, so some stuff happens. I have to go more into that on another time too. But I just really want to focus on. Okay, so I gotta go get my baby. This is difficult to talk about too. But I've tried to tell therapists, and I've tried to tell my friends and family. I've tried to tell people, and I never really feel like anyone offered me kindness. I don't know. So I just feel like I'm kind of desensitized emotionally to it, because I've poured my heart out, and I've gotten cold nothing in return. So I will see you later, invisible peoples.